Hi, welcome to Julius Bar. Today we're gonna mix my version of a Brandy Alexander. So, the Alexander is a cocktail that goes way back when, and it's a cocktail consisting of gin, heavy cream, and chocolate liqueur. That was the oldest version of Alexander. Then the Brandy Alexander, which substituted gin for cognac, became the most famous one. Now, I tried a few Alexander variation and I thought it was way too simple. It just tasted like a cheap chocolate with liqueur inside. It was not great. So, I gathered some ideas, some from the hazelnut Alexander, some from somewhere else. Somewhere just came up to me. And now I'm gonna propose to you a version that I think it's slightly better. So, I'm gonna borrow from the hazelnut Alexander the dash of Angostura, which is a thing that I didn't think about. And then to cut down on the sweetness, I'm gonna use 4 dishes of chocolate bitters from Scrappy's. This is almost over. Need to buy a new one. It costs as much as gold, but they are really unique. And then we go with cream. I have this cream which today is 42% fat, as opposed to the really fatty one at 47 I usually use, because I thought let's stay slightly lighter. Then we go with 10 milliliters of Tempus Fugit crème de cacao. This stuff is also really expensive, but unlike the chocolate bitters from Scrappy's, most of it is sugar. So I don't know if it's as justified. It is delicious, but a bit too sweet for my taste. Then we go on with a touch of hazelnut, which in this case is gonna be brought by the Frangelico, a 20% Italian liqueur, which is just delicious. It tastes really good. Like, hazelnut is famous for being an Italian thing, and this stuff is just really good. Made by some monks, I guess. I don't know, it's not clear. It seems like the head of the company is in Sesto San Giovanni, which is one of the business center near Milan, but it seems like they have a plant where they produce this thing in Cuneo province, which is northwest near France. And then for the base of our cocktail, and I'm gonna split the base between this V.S.O.P Suntory brandy, which is barely acceptable. It's a blend of cognac from France and other unspecified brandies. Suntory has this habit of doing a decent product and then going hard and thinking, what if we make it that 3% worse? Most people are not gonna recognize the difference, and we make a 3% more profit. And they do that, and they just go slightly on the downside of what I consider acceptable. And this is the same. It's just like there, like you say, yeah, it's kind of okay, but barely, maybe, not really good. And anyway, I'm gonna split the base between that and this other controversial rum. This is an Imperial Barceló. It's too expensive. If you find it full price, don't buy it. I always find it on sale on Amazon, and that's why I get it, because this stuff is just 38% ABV and it has quite a good amount of sugar in it too. I use it in this case because, yeah, it's more desserty. It's round, it's mellow, and it's gonna work just fine in this cocktail. but it's not worth the money that this fancy bottle implies it deserves. And we are done for now. Let's get some ice and let's give this bad boy a shake. I gave a bit more of a vigorous shake because let's see if we can develop a bit of whip with that cream we put in the cocktail. Let's double strain in our chilled cocktail glass. And normally you will grate on top of an Alexander some nutmeg. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grate a slightly bit of nutmeg. But I'm also gonna grate some 88% chocolate. Just to give it an extra touch of deliciousness. And also this is quite bitter, so it's gonna help balance out. And there you go, my version of Alexander cocktail. I would like to call this Alexander V.S.O.P. Cheers. Yeah, you know I'm not the guy for sweet, desserty cocktail, but this works because first of all we cut down a bit on the sugar by using a bit of chocolate bitters combined with the Tempus Fugit crème de cacao à la vanille. We make it slightly less sweet. Also, having some hazelnut liqueur instead of having all chocolate liqueur also helps. Also, we split the base with some rum, which, even though it's a really sweet and mellow rum, it also helps making it slightly more interesting. Also, the Angostura gives a bit of spiciness and clove to it, and the dark chocolate on top also helps keeping the sweetness factor down. So, overall this is still a really desserty cocktail, but not a disgustingly sweet one. Yeah, and chocolate and hazelnut together, it's the golden combo. It's the Nutella combo. Dangerous because I kind of feel like you wanna throw this down in one sip. It just feels like you're eating a chocolate. What you can do, of course, is eat the rest of your chocolate and then go back to sip your drink. Not too bad. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, comment down below, share with anybody you like and don't like. Shake yourself another Christmas-like cocktail, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheers. You know what? Let's see if we can measure what's the actual sugar content in this Barceló Imperial. I have here a refractometer, and a refractometer measures the amount of sugar in a substance. It cannot discern between alcohol and sugar, but if we get some of this Barceló Imperial and we put it on this thing, and then we consider the difference between what they say the alcohol content is and the actual sugar content we see here, we should get the amount of sugar per liter. And it says around 40. I thought it could be worse. So I'm re-recording this because I got the measurement right, but the conclusion of the amount of sugar that's included in this Barceló Imperial wrong by 1 order of magnitude. So here's the thing. This rum is 38%. The refractometer should read 38. Anything more, it's gonna be 1 point in percentage of the liquid that's not alcohol, but it's sugar. In fact, it reads around 40%. That doesn't mean that there are only 2 grams of sugar added, but more like 20 grams of sugar. And from what I read online from other reports, that will be accurate. This Barceló Imperial is indeed about a 2% of sugar, which means 20 grams per liter of sugar, which makes it really sweet, really adulterated for being a rum. It's still decent, and I use it when I need something sweet, but just be aware of that. And be aware to not overpay for it. I don't think it's worth the full price.